Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to round 4 of this championship. Apologies for the technical issues we experienced at the start or in the previous stream, but we are back. We couldn't get any audio coming through, but now we are live once again for round 4, like I said, of this championship from Trial Mountain. And we've got a couple of people missing tonight. We've got Jono missing, of course. Cydorg, who's also over in Amsterdam. He's going to be missing as well. And big shout out to him. Hope he's having a great time over there. And like I said, Trial Mountain. It's an absolute classic, this one. And we are absolutely rapt to be back here tonight. Now wider and longer this track than what we remember it from earlier Gran Turismo titles. Meaning it is better for racing. Multiple sections of the track where two cars cannot go side by side without some serious effort from both parties. Be careful here and be careful you don't run out of room, as we're going to take a look at the drivers' standings. We've joined in qualifying for this race tonight, and no surprise there, it is Mint Matt with a 149.062 as we take a look at the drivers' standings. And you can see there, ladies and gentlemen, it is Noodles sitting on top with 66 points. And then it is RaceOnOz and then Viper on 40. And Distinct Andrew there, 5th, and the rest of them. So it is very, very tight here in the championship as we head back to the track now. And only 10 minutes of qualifying here as Banana Josh, as somebody's had an incident there. Looks like Random, I think, who's lining up those rear tyres, but great to have everybody's company as the times are tumbling here. And like we said, Mint Matt with a 49.062 here tonight. Let us know in the comments who you think will win this race. I'm without my trusty sidekick, Cameron Voodoo Chuck Norris, who's got some other commitments, but we're going to push on. The show must go on, albeit without the Nigerian Princess Viper there. Just inside the top 10 at the moment, and he's up here on this sector by 0.7 of a second, as you can see through the tunnel here. What a circuit this is. A little bit different from the original game as he comes around turn 8 down the long run towards turn 9 here, and it's going to be interesting to see how Viper can go tonight. We're going to stay on board with him, and he's got Nemo right behind him as well, who's been on all afternoon practicing here for the race tonight. Round 4 of this championship. Absolute pleasure to bring it to you. There's a corner you don't want to get wrong. One of the famous corners here, running a little bit wide, not too wide there through the last sector. Turns 10, 11 and 12 coming up. Very technical part of the circuit here tonight. And you can see he comes around the last few corners. Turn 13. And then the difficult turn 14 and 15. Very difficult to get it right here, of course. And you can see there, here they come. Viper, Captain Risky ahead of Nemo. Here comes Viper through the last right, left, right, out onto this start-finish straight. Let's see what time he can do here. He comes across the line. And it's going to be a 149.995, so almost a second off our pole position man is Diswood, who is back this week. I think he missed Spa last week. He's down there in 6th, Captain Risky. And it's the insurance specialist, almost having a moment there. Through the opening couple of corners, Speedy Tyres. Up there in 4th, Noodles, our championship leader for 2-minute Noodles. Coming down to turn 9 now, very important to get your braking point absolutely spot on from about 260, 270 kilometers an hour in these cars. The Subaru GRZ, beautiful vehicle, that one. And here we have RaceOnOz, only a 10th off of Matt. Can he improve here on this lap? We might stick with it. The man who only has black and white liveries, and don't they look absolutely magnificent here. As he comes around the last couple of corners, he's got to negotiate turn 13 there. And just turns 14 and 15 remaining here in this lap. And potentially, he was a 10th up last sector. He did a 49.2 there on lap 2, a 49.3 and a 50 flat as he comes out, just leaving himself enough space there on the outside wall. He comes across the line. And what is it going to be? Is it going to be good enough for pole position? It is. Just look at that. Almost into the 148s there for Ranger Oz. And he goes to the top of the timing sheets with a 149.008. What a lap to get him onto pole position. And now it's this man. And it's going to be his job to answer back to retake pole position here tonight. And you can see the times tumbling, a 146 there for somebody else coming through the first part of the lap, and he is absolutely on it, leaving nothing on the table. 230 kilometers an hour as Diswood with a 49.9 there through the tunnel. 49.499, I should say, for Diswood. And here we go, Mint Matt. Best of a 149.062. Which was bettered by Ranger Oz with a 49.008. A very quick time around here at Trial Mountain. Round 4 of this championship. We apologise for the technical issues we experienced at the top of our show, but we are live and ready to watch this action here. And it's going to be 24 laps around this beautiful Gran Turismo circuit. Like we said, a little bit different here in GT7 as here comes Matt. Down to turn 9. He's got some traffic up ahead of him, but I don't think it's going to cause him too many issues. And I think this might be his final lap, so the drivers coming through for their final runs here in qualifying before a 24-lap race here this evening. 49.1 then for Noodles, and that's good enough for third on the grid. As Mint Matt, 2015 GT Academy champion, he's just got to negotiate turns 14 and 15 here. And they're a very tricky couple of corners to end the lap as he comes across the line. Can he improve? Speedy Tyres goes on to pole position, and now here's an opportunity for Matt to go one better. He comes across. It is pole position by 0.016. 16 thousandths of a second. Can anybody else improve? Speedy Tyres, Ranger Oz has finished. Noodles has finished his lap as well. Diswood, Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, down there in 7th. But what a session that was. And you can see on the right-hand corner of your screen there, the timings. Look at that, a 48.979 for Mint Matt. What a stunning lap. Speedy Tyres as well, also into the 48s. One of only 2 drivers to get into the 48s. And a 48.995 for him. 16 thousandths of a second. Then Ranger Oz with a 49 flat. Was provisional pole position for a little while. And then it's Noodles, our championship leader, on the second row of the grid. He can do plenty of damage from there. And then it's Viper Diswood, Captain Risky, the insurance specialist. And Groover, Nemo, GT Banana Josh. And then it's Random in 11th and Jimmy Payload, the only driver in the 151.3s, as we're going to wait to see the results. There we have them on your screen. What a lap by Mint Matt. He is back this week with a vengeance, a 148.979. No Sidorg or Jono stand. Sidorg is over in Amsterdam having a great time over there. And we wish him all the very best over there for New Zealand. 148.979, 148.995, and then a 49 flat. Ranger Oz third, like we said, as we keep going through. Nemo in 9th, Banana Josh 10th, Random in 11th, and Jimmy Payload is down there in 12th. We're almost ready to go, and we are waiting then as toilet breaks for Banana Josh and Ranger Oz, who said, be right back. And we are absolutely looking forward to this race there. You can see I finally purchased the BRZ GT300 and just given it the famous WR World Rally Championship Subaru livery there at the top of your screen. But we are almost ready to go. And what a race we have in store for us here, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight. Like we said, we're missing a couple of drivers, Sidorg, Jono, and Cyril, as he's, as I think we called him last week. He's also out, unfortunately, and everyone else is here, and what a race we are looking forward to And we don't want to miss the start. You can see there, qualifying, just the 10 minutes for qualifying in this championship. And we are ready for the 24 laps of this race. Ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. It's going to be an absolute ripper here tonight. Matt on pole position versus Speedy Tyres heading down into turn 1. RaceOnOz and Noodles also there on the second row of the grid. Third row of the grid for Viper and Diswood. And then it's Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, as Banana Josh. I'm back, so is RaceOnOz. And then it's Groover in 8th, Nemo in 9th, Banana Josh, Random in 11th, and Jimmy Payload in 12th as we get ready to go racing here in the United States at this Trial Mountain Circuit. So Random also back as well. Good luck. Let's go, says Noodles. We're going to wait and see. The race is going to begin shortly. 6 seconds. The countdown is on. Have a good race. I think a few guys also having some connection issues. We're just waiting. We can spectate. We are ready to go racing here. We are almost ready. So Mint, Matt, false starts will be penalised. That's a little bit strange. It's got to Jimmy there on pole position, but it's this man who will lead us away. And we are racing now. It's got a blue flag out for Jimmy Payload, but forget about him. He's well down the field at the back. Well, don't forget about him. He's still there, but he's not leading this race. Speedy Tyres side by side with Mint Matt through turn 1. Look how close they are as they all stream through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 through the tunnel for the first time here on the opening lap, and Speedy Tyres has the lead. Speedy Tyres gets a nose in front of Mint Matt, then it's Noodles, our championship leader. Paul there in 3rd, Diswood up to 4th, RaceOnOz in 5th. I reckon Captain Risky's lost a couple of positions off the line. Viper in 6th. And zoom, 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 zoom. Look at them all streaming through here on lap 1. Nemo up to 8th from 9th off the starting grid. And then it's Random in 9th. GT Banana Josh in 10th. Jimmy Payload down there in 11th. And Groover rounding out our top 12. Our 12 starters here tonight for round 4 of this championship. Look at this battle as they all stream down to turn 9. Speedy Tyres going on the inside there, trying to defend against Mint Matt, but then it's 2-minute Noodles. And Mint Matt in a sandwich between Speedy Tyres and Noodles. And you've got to go very carefully, treading very carefully around this final sector of the lap. And we know this circuit's a little bit wider than it has been in previous games, but you've still got to be careful when it comes to finding the right place to pass. And you can see here, 1st, 2nd and 3rd all together. Speedy Tyres, Mint Matt looking for an opportunity. So is 2-minute Noodles. And then so is Diswood. Down there in 4th, RaceOnOz slotting into 5th if you don't mind. Viper in 6th as we come through to complete the opening lap of this race. Into lap 2 now. Insurance specialist Captain Risky. It's only 2/10 off of Viper here. Can he make a move? He just stays there for the time being. Nemo in that beautiful livery that we keep mentioning. The Senna red-orange Senna McLaren livery from the 90s, 80s and 90s. Jimmy Payload now inside the top 10. Good opening lap for him. And that means that Random now is down to 10th. Banana Josh in 11th. And Groover still bringing up the rear of the field. 10 seconds off of this man. And Diswood in the lead. Wow, so Diswood was in 4th when we checked on his progress a moment ago, and what has happened there as Beaky is up and about. Hello to you, Beaky. Great to have you from Afghanistan. It's been a little bit quiet here this evening, Beaky, but great to have your company. And don't forget, Beaky, a few new sound effects there for you to try as well. But look at this battle for the lead. And look at this, Diswood. Mint Matt, is he going to make a move down the inside or the outside, if you don't mind? Not on this occasion. And Diswood, they must have had an incident. Karingal, mate, not Afghanistan or Afghanistan. And we thank you for your beautiful service there, Beaky. What an absolute legend you are down there by the coast in the most beautiful part of the world, Kringle. None better when it comes to places on your bucket list as... Oh, my voice just broke, Beaky. Thanks for that. And here comes Diswood now. Look at the pressure that Diswood is under, and very much a Diswood train as we complete lap 2 into lap 3 now. That's a very brave photographer there just over the other side of the fence. Mitmat going for the lead. Is he going to make it stick? I think he is. And let's have a look on board with the 2015 GT Academy champion. Let us know who you want to ride on board with out there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's so close. Diswood. Fantastic. Go, 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 says Beaky. And look at this. Oh, a bit of sideways action there. And Matt getting a little bit out of shape there. But Diswood hanging in there, a little bit of contact there. It might have been a little bit of lag as we go through turn 8. And now Matt down to third because Noodles has just got his nose in front. Our championship leader up into second position here. And you can see the sign there that we just went past saying no stopping. And you can understand why, because this battle is continuing to rage here. So Matt now down to third, but he just needs to bide his time. Speedy tyres there as well. In fourth position, just watching all of this unfold ahead of him. 24 laps around this circuit. Currently the fastest lap is Groover with a 1:50.313. And Ranger Oz down there in fifth, riding on board with these guys now. Beautiful camera angles here. This is Gran Turismo at its very best. Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, Nemo there as well. Through turns 14 and 15, we go onto the start-finish straight. How good is this race? Where else would you want to be, ladies and gentlemen, than watching this beautiful Gran Turismo Race on Oz Season 51 Division 1, Round 4 of this championship here. And we do apologise, we got off to a shaky start with some technical issues, but we are back now here at Trial Mountain, random in 10th. And a bit of bonnet cam, if you don't mind. We'll get back to the broadcast screen. Quickest lap to Groover, like I said, a 1:50.313. And then it's Banana Josh outside the top 10. Groover in 12th. And only 8 seconds off of the lead. He's 1.8 off of Banana Josh. And Diswood, zoom, 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 zoom. The long run down the back straight between turns 8 and 9. And custom weather here. It's the afternoon, 4 times the time progression. On a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Trial Mountain, somewhere in this Cybernet Terminator, all Gran Turismo generated, AI generated world that we're racing in. And Diswood looks a little bit shaky there, and now 2 Minute Noodles is right behind him. Mitmat not too far off either. Who is your money on if you're out there and you're a betting person? If you're a betting man, let us know, because it is heating up here at the moment. Lap 4, Noodles down the inside. Are they going to make contact? The inside turns into the outside again through the final couple of corners. Noodles gets a good launch off of the final chicane at turn 15, and now here's an opportunity for him. This is the best of the best. No Jono tonight, no Sidorg, who is in Amsterdam. He's over there in Amsterdam, and I'm sure he's enjoying the nightlife over there in Amsterdam and having a good time over there. Well, you know they sound over there, and that sounded a little bit dodgy. But Diswood leads, but Noodles right behind him. Mitmat staying in this battle now. And Speedy Tyres, this is where they're just playing a game of chess. Here, like you can see, no opportunities until we get really through turns 5, 6, and 7. And then on to turn 8, there's an opportunity to really have a go here. Get the slipstream, get behind the car in front. Get a bit of a tow. And lap 5 out of 24, we're looking at Speedy Tyres in 4th. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen, how the audio is sounding and where you are watching from here tonight. 5 gorgeous people with us on a Sunday night. Like I said, I'm without my trusty sidekick, the Nigerian Prince Chuck Norris. Not with us tonight, but still the show must go on regardless, as we want to keep flicking through the order. Viper there, the man who does a tremendous amount of work in organising this league, and what a job he does as well, riding on board with him. Heading down from turn 13 into turn 14, a tricky one to get right. You can see the train ahead of him. He's got Speedy Tyres, mid-map, Noodles and Diswood. A little bit of lag there as he comes across the line. His best is a 150.440, and he's gone better than that, almost a 10th up on that with a 150.365. As Captain Risky sets the fastest lap of the race, a 150.078. 7/10 quicker than the lap before, and you can see now a train forming very much behind that man. Diswood in P1. We might keep flicking through the order. RaceOnOz 1.2 off of Captain Risky here, but at this rate he's going to be on them very, very shortly. And then it's Jimmy Payload. Jimmy Payload there in 9th, Nemo in 10th, Banana Josh in 11th, Groover there in 12th, and this is a very sexy looking battle. I'm not supposed to say that word. It's only 8:30 p.m. Eastern time here in the Eastern States, and now Groover is getting his groove on, then breaking down into turn 9, down into 3rd, down into 2nd gear. And I think he's got the job done on Banana Josh, but Banana Josh might have something to say about it as they continue through the final sector here at Trial Mountain. Not quite the famous Trial Mountain that we love and know and love and remember from earlier GT3 games. GT games, of course, but I've got to say, it's been reimagined. It's wider and longer. Better for racing, multiple sections of this track where 2 cars cannot go side by side, although it didn't worry Groover on that occasion with a serious effort from both there. You've got to be careful racing through the pack here, that you don't run out of room or run into somebody else. As right down the field, down to P12, the battle continues, and now Noodles is leading as we ride on board with Diswood, formerly our race leader. And now, through the tunnel, through the famous turn 4 tunnel here, not much room for error through this opening part of the lap. And he's up by 2/10 here, Diswood, on this lap. And he's looking good here, but he's got Matt right behind him for company. You can see in your mirrors, Matt getting awfully close, almost having a go. And will he have a go down here? He's going to get the toe. Then again, Diswood is really getting that toe from Noodles as well. So you might say they're going toe-to-toe at the moment. Here comes Matt with a 150.5. That's his fastest lap on lap 4 of this race. And I've got no doubt in my mind that this man could go quicker. I'm sure they could all go quicker in clear air if they weren't stuck in this group of cars. And Diswood, and you can see on your screen there, Matt up here by about a 1/10 of a second as Diswood runs slightly wide. That's going to give Matt a chance. Down into turn 13. And he just needs to stay with him here to possibly go down the inside here at the chicane. Is he going to go right or left? We're going to leave it up to Matt to decide. The famous Matt Simmons, of course, 2015 GT Academy champion. Across the line to complete another lap here. Lap 8 now of this race. That was the 150.0. And 45 minutes, roughly 45 minutes to race here tonight. 24 laps, random weather, but no chance of rain. And last season, which season 50, this is season 51 here. Sidorg, of course, was the champion last time around. And first, second and third, not separated by much here on lap 8 of this race. Look at this battle continuing here. 1/3 race distance, lap 8 out of 24. Matt under pressure now from Speedy Tyres. Viper down there in 5th, Captain Risky. The insurance specialist in 6th, RaceOnOz in 7th. And then it is Random in 8th, Jimmy Payload inside the top 10, Jimmy. And there he goes, Nemo also in 10th in the Marlboro McLaren livery. And yes, Bruce McLaren, of course, his countryman, making that famous. That partnership with Marlboro and Philip Morris back in the 80s and 90s. Groover in 11th, he had the fastest lap for a little bit there. And now Banana Josh right at the back of the field. And only 12.1 off of the lead here on lap 8. So the field spread not a great deal. You can see on the track map in the top right-hand corner of your screen that they're fairly closely bunched together. Banana Josh in the 51s here. As now Noodles has got his nose in front, 2-minute Noodles. And he's extending that margin, 1.4 now in front of Matt, who's managed to get some clear air here. So he's going to head off in pursuit of 2-minute Noodles. Diswood in 3rd. And Speedy Tyres now in 4th. Lap 9 of this race, just over 1/3 distance here. And let us know where you're watching from. Get your comments coming in. I know Beaky's out there watching this racing action as they all stream through. What a circuit this is. If you're just joining us, we've got Jono and Sidorg missing. And also Cyril as well.
So box.
And Wilco has joined us. Missing my trusty associate sidekick, Voodoo Chuck Norris, tonight, but we are pushing. And a couple of sound effects there. It's Tarquini! And yes, what a racer he was back in the day. He raced in everything, Formula One, British touring cars as well, back in the day. But Speedy Tyres in 4th, and Viper down there in 5th, the insurance specialist right behind his Ginger in 6th now. And great to have Wilco joining us there from the beautiful suburb of Carrum Downs as RaceOnOz into the pits. And you can see that GT Media, man, they get access everywhere, don't they? And here comes the pit crew. And you should have messaged me. I would have jumped in the box with your. And we'll wait and see now. These cameramen, they like to risk life and limb. As we're just waiting for RaceOnOz to come into the pit lane. Here he is, the man who only likes black and white liveries, which is fine by me because I'm a Collingwood supporter. If anybody watches AFL, and your good self, thank you, Wilco. And into the pits, onto the medium tyres. How many litres of fuel? 80, 90, 100 litres. Out he goes, and Random also into the pits. The pit crew sponsored by BWT. And Wilco watches AFL. What about those Hawks and old Newcomb?
Did I send it or did I didn't send it? Oh, send it! Oh.
Did I send it? That was Carlos. That was Carlos. He wasn't in his Ferrari. And you can see there as Matt with the quickest lap of the race as we head back to the business end. And I watch AFL, Trev. Did you know that? Of course I do, Wilco. And Big Duke Newcomb, Big Giant Newcomb, bang! Up and he fixed up, was it Corey Waitman? Whatever his name was. He fixed him up on the Hawks, got the win just. But that's AFL, and this is Gran Turismo. And you can call the Corey Hotline. Let's think of things that rhyme with Corey. Story. Dory, you know how it goes. But Noodles loving the new sounds And not sure why they're not that loud, Wilco, but if you can just test one of them again, that would be fantastic. But do not spend your coins if you don't need to. Noodles in first, Mitmat in second. Zoom, zoom, and there we have, sounded like somebody killed the cat. Or was that curiosity that killed the cat? Anyway, never mind about that, because lap 11 of this race, can you believe it? Can you believe we are approaching half distance? And I haven't sung at the moment. That is unbelievable, but Noodles, 149.470, fastest lap for him. But then it's a Mitmat with a 49.337. And down on this lap, we might ride on board with the 2015 GT Academy champion. And this is a man, and you can see a little bit dusty there offline. And this is a man who I'm not really a favourite. Well, I am a favourite of his, and he's a favourite of mine. And I might not be a favourite of his, but I'm sure I am, as the 2015 GT Academy champion, 4 times time progression. And Wilco's got 7.4k kit coins, so we can spam the Scheisenhausen out of them if you want. Maybe give us another Carlos if you don't mind. That would be absolutely fantastic. And we can see the volume levels, which for some reason seem to go down when the PS5's on. But like I said...
Did I send it or did I didn't send it? Did I send it or did I send it?
You don't need to keep doing it over and over again.
Oh, stuff, guys. Oh, thank you. Oh, stuff, guys. Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that, Wilco, who's, you do it twice, so nice. You had to redeem them twice. And Carlos is getting very excited there. Did he send it or what? And Mitmat now a second down off of Noodles. 2-minute Noodles, it was 1.4, a 49.5 on that lap. And then it's Speedy Tyres down there in third. And now these two leaders, Noodles and Mitmat, have stretched their legs. They were very much in a Speedy Tyres train. And then it's Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, riding on board the bonnet of this Captain Risky car up to 4th position. Viper in 5th still. Groover right up to 6th. Jimmy offering his payload there to Groover. And you can see Ranger Oz, who has made his pit stop. Diswood into the pits now. And out again. 87 laps of fuel, litres of fuel I should say. The medium tyres going on there. As we might get back to this camera, because I was getting motion sickness there. Diswood and Ranger Oz doing a battle here. What do we know about Diswood as I look at my cheat sheet? Well, we don't know an awful lot about him, apart from the fact that he made his debut in round 2, and he's a seasoned driver in another major GT league, and he's a powerhouse. A powerhouse. He has a mountain to climb if he's going to take on the RaceOnOz crew. And that's like the soldier in World War I who had a mustard gas attack, and he was a well-seasoned veteran there. But a bit like Diswood in P9 then, just inside that top 10. We haven't spoken about this man in the Marlboro livery. And if I can just look at him for 5 seconds without seeing that beautiful livery. He's got a very interesting looking helmet design there. Nemo in 10th. He's yet to make a stop, I do believe, but I could be wrong. And I have been wrong in the past, but it was only briefly, and I ended up being right. And as Murray used to say, the great Murray Walker, he doesn't make mistakes, he makes prophecies that immediately turn out to be incorrect. But Noodles in first, 1.3 now ahead of Mitmat, who's in second. Zoom. And Speedy Tyres now in third. Lap 13 of 24. And my goodness gracious me, this race is going quicker than you could ever imagine. Captain Risky through the tunnel. Viper there. And Groover 7.6 seconds behind Viper in P5. And he's 5.6 now ahead of Jimmy Payload. So it was looking like Jimmy could have offloaded his payload. But now it's looking very less likely now. Ranger Oz down there in 8th, who's made his pit stop along with Diswood. So we're in for an interesting couple of final stint of this race. Lap 13 of 24, still plenty of action here to play out. Round 4 of this championship, the Gran Turismo 7 RaceOnOz Season 51 here at Trial Mountain. That's okay. I haven't died. I just had a brief coughing fit, which I didn't want to share with you all. As we look at Diswood in P9, no stopping. You can see they're not stopping here. This back straight, this part of the lap, the quickest part of the circuit. Between turns 8 and turns 9 here, down to turn 9. Down to second gear there. Want to make sure you get your braking point absolutely spot on. There's Nemo with a personal best there on that sector. But he's 45 seconds off the lead. Here comes Random, only 2.4 further back. And Banana Josh down there in 12th. And it's going to be interesting to see when these leaders are going to be making their stops. You can see a 150.2 there for 2-minute noodles last time around on lap 13. But look at the consistency from lap 7 to 12. 49.6, 49.9, 49.4, 49.4, 49.7, 49.6. What a model of consistency this man is, and he is our championship leader as well, ladies and gentlemen. But he's got it all to play for there because Matt is right behind him, and he's not going to give anything away with 10 laps to go of this race here at Trial Mountain. The very scenic, the famous Trial Mountain amongst the trees here in the United States. And that caravan, what better place to watch the race from? Just get your caravan set up. You want to be careful of those bears in the woods, those drop bears. Or is it only Australia we get those drop bears? Not sure, because I'm talking to myself here once again. But look at this man. Just gets you excited. And he's in the pits. He is in the pits. And you have to, of course, slow down. As you can see the tyres, fuel and tyres as well. You can see the graphic on the bottom of your screen there. So he's going to take on some new tyres. And he's on the soft tyres. Is he going to take on the mediums? We'll wait and see. As he's still coming into the pit lane. They're waiting with bated breath to jump in to do their work. Into the pits he comes. Matt into the pits. Off go the soft tyres. Are they putting another set of soft tyres on that car? It looks like they are. First gear, in goes the fuel. 60 litres so far, 70 litres now. 74 litres out of the pits again. In fact, it's a set of mediums there for Mint-Matt. And where is he going to come back out? Ahead of Ranger Oz. Viper coming out of the pits as well. Back into clear air, which is the most important. And I reckon you lose about 25 seconds around here making a pit stop. As Speedy Tyres staying out, of course. And you do miss that, you miss that 14, turns 14 and 15 around here. With that direct line after turn 13 through the pit lane. As Speedy Tyres in second now. And will we see our race leader come into the pits? We've seen Mint-Matt. He's down by 7/10 past the caravan at turn 12. And he's down on this lap. And is that going to see Mint-Matt make the undercut work here at Trial Mountain? We're only on lap 15, still 9 and a bit laps to go. He's definitely got to come into the pits surely on this lap, and he does. And where is Mint-Matt going to end up? He's coming through turn 9 now, through the 10, 11, 12, 13 turn section, I reckon. And Speedy Tyres also into the pits. So we're going to wait and see where Matt is here. You watch the track. I'll watch the pit lane. As Mint-Matt coming through. Turn 13 now. It's going to be close. Oh, a little bit of moment there. A little bit of a moment. It could have been lag, though, for Matt. And I reckon, is the undercut going to work here? They're still putting on the wheels, can you believe? They've got to put in the fuel. It's going to be mighty, mighty close. Speedy Tyres also as well, but Matt is onto the start-finish straight. Noodles is coming out. It's going to be so close. Is Matt going to get the undercut here? No, I don't think he's got it because Speedy Tyres out there he is just ahead of Matt, who's already warmed his tyres up, and Matt is straight through. Get out of the way, he says. Piss off, I'm Matt Simmons, and I'm coming up into second place, and he's 2.8 seconds off of Noodles, But you can see those tyres of Matt will be up to temperature. Speedy tyres then already been disposed of like an old stinky, pesky garbage bag. As I nearly lose my voice there, but Matt up into second, and now Noodles, with 8 laps to go, leads this race, but that gap is 2.5 seconds, so the undercut has not worked for Matt. So Matt then still in second, and Speedy Tyres he's not exactly getting away from this man, Speedy Tyres. RaceOnOz down there in fourth. I've got to remind myself that there are other drivers in this race apart from Matt Simmons, the 2015 GT Academy champion. And of course, big shout out to Sidorg, who I'm sure to be watching this from Amsterdam, and I'm sure he'll be having a great time over there. And Viper in fifth, Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, not too far behind him. And then it's Diswood, who led this race in the early stages as the sun sets here at Trial Mountain. And Nemo then in 8th. Inside the top 10, Groover in 9th. Then Random in 10th. And Jimmy Payload in 11th, along with Banana Josh in 12th. And what a race we are having here, ladies and gentlemen, here this afternoon.
Here, really. I am trying to driven here, but you would have liked it. Shame you wasn't fast enough to get to Formula One.
As we hear Martin roasting Christian Horner, Jimmy Payload in 11th, not too far ahead of Banana Josh. He'll be disappointed with his work here today. He has been on the podium previously. Has RaceOnOz now with a 49.334 as we get back to our championship leader, who is in P1 in the championship, P1 in this race, lap 17 of 24, the long run down from P8 to P9. It's your breaking point, absolutely spot on, and Matt has cut out a second of that lead. So if you thought that this race was over, think again, and he's 2/10 down there, but he is absolutely reeling in, this man Noodles. Sharing the screen together almost. Speedy Tyres now 1.4 further back. RaceOnOz, like I mentioned, setting that quick lap of a 49.334. Sees him in fourth. Viper and Captain Risky still down there battling hard in 5th and 6th. Captain Risky there, Diswood in 7th. Nemo in 8th. And what a race we've seen from Nemo. He's kept himself out of trouble. Hasn't done too much exciting there, of course. Whatever time it is over there in New Zealand. Might be about 11 o'clock, I think. A couple of hours or so different. And you've got to really respect these Kiwis. Big shout out to the Kiwis, of course, over in Amsterdam for the GT World Series over there. As Groover crosses the line, a 51.2 there for him on that lap, so does Random. Still inside the top 10 by 7 seconds over Jimmy Payload. And Banana Josh back to Noodles then. 1.4 is the gap. It's steady up front here at the moment. Fuel is not going to be an issue, I think. Still half a tank of fuel. The tyres looking very nicely indeed. And changing the tyres, putting in some fuel, of course, during that pit stop. And round 4 of this championship. Only a short championship as well, ladies and gentlemen. Because we've only got how many rounds? 7 rounds, of course. Next time around, we're at the Grand Valley Highway. Then a couple of famous circuits to finish the season in Suzuka and Mount Panorama. That is also a retro round and will involve a 46-lap race. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be an absolute ripper on your Sunday night. But this man, Noodles, is looking the business at the moment. If you don't mind, his livery, of course, made by Viper. And he's been a member since October 2020 of RaceOnOz. 11 wins, 40 podiums, 14 pole positions. Ooh, getting a little bit sideways there almost. And we've mentioned it in previous weeks, but this man was cruelly denied his maiden title last season by Sidorg, who's off partying in Amsterdam, despite winning 3 of the final 4 races in season number 50. It was Noodles who was a bridesmaid and not quite the bride. Can he be the bride this year? And what a bridal party he will have. Because if he can manage to stay in front of this man, whose achievements in Gran Turismo are longer than my arm, and that will be a very, very good effort, but that gap is just 1.1 now. Don't forget about speedy tyres, only 1.8 seconds further adrift. And then it's RaceOnOz in 4th. Viper in 5th. Captain Risky right behind him. We might ride on board with a bit of Captain Risky to just see where he can manage to get through here. His best lap of a 49.6. That was on lap 11 as Nemo sets the fastest lap of a 49.324. And no points for the quickest lap, I do not believe, but I'll have to get the rulebook out and check as Viper now. A little bit of lag there from Viper. Captain Risky, I should say, we're riding on board with here at the moment. Through the very technical turns 10, 11 and 12, approaching turn 13. And then we've got the short run up to turns 14 and 15. A little bit of sideways action there. But no harm done as the sun has set below the trees here at Trial Mountain here in the United States. There's Diswood there in 7th, and Nemo, the man who set the fastest lap last time around. What can he do on this lap? Here he comes. Onto the start-finish straight, a 49.324 for him last time around. And he's going to set the quickest lap. It's a 49.4 on that lap. So a tiny bit slower. Here comes Groover now in P9. 8.4 further back from Nemo. And Random all on his own in 10th. Banana Josh 11th. And Jimmy has made a mistake. Jimmy! And he's going to give it a bit of the Austin Powers 3-point turn there. Marshall waving the green flag. Not quite sure whether he knew what was going on there, that Marshall. But Jimmy is back running. And he's going to be well and truly. He's 48 seconds now off of this man in the lead, who has not put a foot wrong. We saw Mitbat trying to get the undercut to work. Couldn't quite manage to get it done. But now the race is on. Just 4 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen, between now and the end of this race. And do not go anywhere. In fact, you could go away now, put on a cup of tea, and by the time the kettle's boiled, we are going to be in for a ripping final couple of laps here. Noodles 8771 is absolutely, I wouldn't say dominating. He hasn't put a foot wrong all race. But he's got Matt right behind him here, and the pressure must be intense as we come through to complete lap 20. Slight moment there. And here he is, M. Simmons. The gap now 0.6 of a second. Speedy Tyres has got RaceOnOz for company. Is he going to have a go here into turns 1, 2 and 3? Let's have a look. The fast flowing turns 1, 2 and 3. A little bit too far back to have a go there. And you can see the fuel there, only a quarter of a tank left for RaceOnOz, but that should see him get through to the end of this race. And he seems to really catch Speedy Tyres through this first sector here. Through the tunnel, one of a couple of tunnels here tonight, onto the dusty stuff. Here's another tunnel. And he really needs to have tunnel vision here if he's going to get this job done. Is he going to get the toe? You can see Speedy Tyres moving to the left to try and break the slipstream. Up to 275, almost 280 kilometres an hour. Down then into 3rd gear. We're going to keep going through the field. Viper then Still has Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, in his mirrors, running slightly wide there. He's up on this sector, according to our timing charts. So Viper 5th, Captain Risky in 6th, then it's Diswood in 7th there. Nemo Nation still holding the fastest lap with a 49.3. A Groover in 9th, Random in 10th, Banana Josh in 11th, and then it's Jimmy rounding out the top 12. In fact, rounding out the entire field here this evening. 3 laps to go here at Trial Mountain for round 4 of this championship. As the battle continues to rage on, and these two have got a little bit of breathing space. Noodles and Matt back to speedy tyres in 3rd. You can see they've really pulled away. Not by an awful lot, I should say. 3.1 is the gap still. As the sun sets here at Trial Mountain, 2 laps to go in this race. And it's very much a question of whether Noodles, our championship leader, if he wins tonight, he will extend his championship lead, of course. He'll extend his lead in the championship and hold on to a very handy margin with only 3 rounds of the season to go in Grand Valley, Bathurst and Suzuka. Not necessarily all in that order. I think it's Grand Valley, Suzuka, then Bathurst, the endurance round to finish the championship. Short, sharp seasons. And we're in the 51st season of the RaceOnOz Gran Turismo 7 Division 1 League. Great to have your company with us, ladies and gentlemen. And it's getting very murky out there. Those headlights, they might even be, on the front of these Subarus, doing very nicely indeed. Matt using every bit of the track, as he so often does. But Noodles here on the penultimate lap of this race. Can he hold on and take a victory in round 4 of this championship? That is the question. To be or not to be, P1 or not to be P1. That is the question, and Matt's getting very close. As you can see, we might ride on board with Matt. Not that he's my favourite driver, but you know he's my favourite driver. As we are in for an absolute grandstand blockbuster finish. You can see then 4th gear, 5th gear. We're watching a master at work here, ladies and gentlemen. Down the long run between turns 8 and turns 9. And he's a little bit too far back. Noodles doing everything he needs to. Putting the car in the right place at the right time. And you can see now the sun well and truly set here at Trial Mountain. One of the, if not the most famous tracks or famous locations on the Gran Turismo calendar, and it has been for a number of years. A track that we all know and love in the Gran Turismo Cybernet AI-generated Terminator world that we're living in here tonight. And you can see there's a full moon out. But that's not going to worry Mitmat or the Wolves at all, because the Wolves are at the door. And he's got 1 lap to go. Not sure what I'm talking about. I haven't got my trusty sidekick Voodoo alongside me here to keep me in line. But 1 lap of racing here to go, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for it? Just 15 corners for this man to try and get past this man. And we might go back to the broadcast camera for the final lap of this race. It is absolutely on, like Donkey Kong, as they always say. Oh, it's so close. You can put a cigarette butt between them. Might even get a cigarette paper in there as well, but it is Matt right behind in P2. But for how long? Our championship leader absorbing all the pressure like a well-worn scrub daddy. You know, those scrub daddies that have just been through everything, yet they still absorb the pressure And that is what he's doing here tonight. Noodles leads. And you can see that Noodles is going to try and break the toe here down the long run to turn 9 on the final lap of this race. Where else would you want to be, ladies and gentlemen? And where can Matt find an opportunity to get past our championship leader? Is it going to be now? He goes down the outside. And he might have the move done. I think he's got it, but Noodles is hanging it in there. Just with the nose in front. Wow, what racing. What a fantastic Sunday night of entertainment we've got here for round 4 of this championship for RaceOnOz. And I reckon Noodles is going to hold on here. Just turns 13, 14 and 15 to go for Noodles. And that's all that separates him from the checkered flag. But Matt's not done with yet. Now's his chance. Into the final corner. Brake disc glowing, you can see it. But I reckon Noodles is going to hold on unless Matt gets a good exit here. Onto the start-finish straight. Can he manage to get it done? He comes across the line, but Noodles is going to win. What a finish. Grandstand blockbuster finish there. Matt's in second. RaceOnOz and Speedy Tyres. Who is going to take third position here? RaceOnOz has got it in the end. Speedy Tyres finishes fourth. Viper across the line in fifth. Captain Risky, the insurance specialist, in sixth. Diswood in seventh. Nemo Nation up there in 8th. He also picks up the fastest lap of this race. Groover in 9th. Random in 10th. As he comes across the line to finish inside the top 10. Fairly quiet performance, but he still finishes in 10th. Banana Josh in 11th. What a finish we saw between Noodles and Mint Matt. Not only that, but to the battle for the final podium position as well between RaceOnOz and Speedy Tyres was something to savour. And here comes Jimmy through the final corner. He had a couple of moments in this race, but he is going to finish in P12 here tonight. Running also on the smell of an oily rag there. And Nemo says, weaving like an idiot. And I don't think Nemo's too happy there. But that is the end of a thrilling race here. And it is this man, Noodles, Paul Candonolian, and clean race bonus as well. Always very nice. He picked up 3 positions there. And somebody call 911 says, Diswood, I need fuel. Groover saying RaceOnOz.com, the fastest Australia-New Zealand league. Congrats, mate, for up your lap. Thanks for that, as we're going to take a look at the results. Good race, says Noodles. Great race. Well done. Congratulations for the race. We're going to recap the results here, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave you tonight. And we have some technical issues. We won't be having any post-race driver interviews, but it is Noodles winning there. P1 for him just in the end by 2/10 over Mint Matt. What a battle that was, and kept us entertained for the final few laps. RaceOnOz in third, just in third ahead of Speedy Tyres in fourth. Viper in fifth, Captain Risky in sixth. Diswood in 7th. And Nemo, who says, weaving like an idiot. He picked up the fastest lap in P8, if you don't mind. Then Groover in 9th, Random running out your top 10. And then it was Banana Josh in 11th. Jimmy Payload in 12th. What a race for round 4 of this championship, ladies and gentlemen. And Mint Matt just advising Diswood there. That was fun. Let's play again sometime. And that's all we've got time for here, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget, next week we are heading to Grand Valley Highway 1 for round 5 of this championship. And that will cap off a fantastic run. We've got Suzuka after that, followed by a break for Father's Day, of course. And then it's the Mount Panorama Circuit Endurance Retro Round, which will be 46 laps of the famous Mount Panorama Circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to bring you this race here tonight. And thank goodness my voice has held out. I didn't have my trusty sidekick as I'm booted from the game. But we'll see you next time around here for RaceOnOz, the Gran Turismo 7 Season 51 Division 1 Championship. But for now, it's goodbye.